Hi everybody, this is Code Chris, and today, really quick, I want to share something that I thought was super cool, and that is the discussion around AI and video game realism. Now, typically, we see cool demos like this one that are showcasing all the extra little details, all the variations in lighting that are available, and reflective surfaces that the computer or video game system can, output. And then this is the Unity demo that was showing some new techniques where they basically are able to, zoom in and out on different surfaces and that kind of stuff. But this is not as impressive to me as the Grand Theft Auto AI, overlay. Let me show you that. Is Grand Theft Auto, and here is the Intel AI overlaying a bunch of reference images that the AI has been able to bring in, and you can see how it feels more realistic. This looks similar to what we somehow experience in the real world. And I think the reason for that is that sometimes less is more. And sometimes we developers and artists can get carried away with the level of detail that is available to us, that we can input and squish, instead of accounting for what's actually there. I'll leave a link to the papers that document all the technical stuff and how this works. But what I'm interested in is what this will talk about in the future for video games and the inclusion of AI. Now, one thing I know for sure is that there's been use of reference images to get that digital zoom and additional information when you get on some items. But here, what I mean by less detail can be more is look at this ground, right? Definitely looks realistic. It's got a lot of detail going on. But when they run it through this filter, it feels a little bit more realistic. Now, granted, when it goes to resolution, I think this is only at 720 of an image versus 1080 or 4K. But at that point, we're just dealing with the inevitable direction of resolution. But here you can see, even on the cars, this is quite impressive. And these trees, quite impressive. The ground, quite impressive. But still, we recognize this as not being real. But look at that and tell me that's not a real image. There's no way you would think that. Now, you might be thinking that basically we're just kind of putting on a bit of a filter that just makes things look a little bit more gray and a little bit more green, and the resolution's not whatever. But I think it's important to really note that this is setting up something very, very impressive.
I understand what that means.
So to understand, this is something that's very, very impressive. I mean, here we have a video game, right? And we know it can be inevitable that this same kind of reference usage can be applied at the video game level. Unlike some of the other things where we automatically would love to see people or monsters or some sort of cool environments like that, I think it's actually very, very helpful to go with things that we know and have seen online or in person again and again. And I think that's a really clever idea for them to start off with Grand Theft Auto, as we see cars all the time and we walk around cities and we have some understanding of what that should look like. And this looks realistic until you compare it to the AI using all that data to reference, well, actually, what would this feel more like? Then when I kind of pull back to what Grand Theft Auto's offering us, it looks actually kind of like that uncanny valley where it's, oh, well, there's like a lot of extra detail in here going on. There's some images that are stretched. Is this really truly realistic? I think it's a fascinating topic, one worth exploring, and I am excited to see what's going to be happening in the very near future. One of the coolest things I think I get excited about when I see each video game console or a game that's really trying to showcase the graphics is I, like many others, are waiting. I'm just waiting for that one video clip, that one non-cinematic sequence that showcases we've arrived, video games look realistic and are imperceivable between, what is the CGI for Hollywood film and the CGI for a video game. And a lot of that has to do with just hardware limitations and software limitations, but I think we're breaking a lot of new ground, and AI is going to help bridge that gap. Thank you guys for watching. Those are just some of my thoughts and opinions. Have a nice day. Bye bye.